Y'all thought I forgot about you, didn't you? I didn't. I sure didn't. Today we're going back to my roots and filming a melt and pour soap tutorial. This is a really good one. It was also requested from some of my older YouTube shorts. It is an exfoliating melt and pour bar soap themed like a strawberry. I'm pretty excited. It's been a bit since I dabbled in melt and pour. Hopefully I don't forget anything. Let's go ahead and dive on in. All right, before I give you the tutorial, there are a few key things we need to keep in mind when you are using melt and pour soap. If you want your bar to be the color red, you need to make sure you start with a clear base. If you start with a white base, it does not matter how much red pigment you add, your bar is going to be at minimum slightly pink. Okay, so we're going to use a clear base today. These products I will have linked down in my Amazon storefront. There are several different places you can buy the materials in person if you are very inspired by this video and want to get started right away. So again, they will be linked down below if you are interested in purchasing them. The other note before we begin is about your exfoliant options. To represent the strawberry seeds and to provide that exfoliating moment, we are going to be using poppy seeds. You could also use jojoba beads, but I chose to go with poppy seeds. That way, again, the recipe was more accessible to anyone who was ready to get started with it right away. I'm going to be using a classic rectangle mold. Feel free to use whatever you have lying around. Don't forget your spray bottle of isopropyl alcohol. I have another melt and pour tutorial. I know I told you guys that is a little bit more fancy than this one coming up next week, I believe. So if you like melt and pour tutorials, I do have content around melt and pour on my channel. You just might have to scroll down some and check out that video when it is upcoming. Subscribe so you don't miss when it gets posted. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. that went relatively easy. It's been, like I said, it's been a minute since I used Melt and Pour. Sometimes it can be hard to get your exfoliants or anything that you might be adding to your Melt and Pour to like suspend or stay up without falling down to the bottom of what you are making. So what I like to do to kind of combat that, like you saw, I made like a layer and then sprayed some isopropyl, waited a second, added it, and then kind of went from there, layering it on there. If you don't spray the isopropyl, then your layers that you pour won't stick together. So once you take the bar out of the mold, you'll have like, you know, different sections of soap instead of like one bar of soap. I switched up the mold last minute just because I saw those massaging ones. And again, that's where I started. So I was like, yeah, let me try that one out. All right, it's time to reveal the final bar. That is quite the cutie. Look at her. I'm trying to avoid showing this nail because I cracked it swinging the baby on the swing. So this is super cute. The fragrance held really well, but I will say it's not my favorite. But my niece and my daughter thought it smelled delicious, which is great. I'll just give these to them. But yeah, here it is. I think that the poppy seeds did a really nice job of staying separate. Like you can see that they are mixed through. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but you can see that they're not just all at the bottom. There's not clumps of them at the bottom or clumps of them back here on the top. I think it looks really good. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end today's video here. If you are looking for the recipe, it's down below in the description box, and I'll see you in my next video.